Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another video. This is going to be a little different. Um, Last week, well, no, I'm sorry, last month, uh, PBD podcast, Patrick Bet David wanted us, the viewers, to do a survey for the podcast. And I thought I'd do a little analysis of the results from viewers like me perspective. So here's PBD podcast, and I hope Patrick appreciates this. So here's this. Oh, so yeah, it was May 2026. So 14,791. There's probably more people did this survey than that much. I think it was 16,000, possibly 17,000. I'm not sure if it hit 20,000. But at the time that I asked for the results on via text, this is the number that came out. So 14,791. 14,800. Just round it up there. Okay. 78%. Let me see if I can yeah. Zoom in a little more. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I like that. I may have to zoom out a couple of times. But 78% of you guys, of us, 78%, 78% of us watch on YouTube. Other people watch on Spotify, which is mostly for music, but it does podcasts as well. Other stuff like Rumble, no, here's others maybe. I'm not sure what others may be, but we have Rumble, and Rumble is very, very small, very small. But 78% of us watch PBD podcasts on YouTube, and 78% of 14,000 is, was that C plus? Yeah, C plus. C plus. That's pretty good. 92% of us have been loyal for 2+ years. I think I've been watching PBD podcasts for a little more than that. I think so. 64% of us are Republicans. That's a D minus. That's a D minus in school grade. 64% is a D minus. So which means 40, no, that's no, 36% are independent, American independent, uh, libertarian, other, and maybe some Democrats are watching PBD. Conservative, hopefully, conservative Democrats are watching PBD. 36% of us are business owners. I'm part of the what would that be? 90, no, 74, no, 64. 64% of us are just regular folk, non-business owners, non-CEOs. So 2 plus yeah, it's 3 plus years. So 5,000 of you guys, 5,000 of us have been watching for over three, 3 years or more, 3 years or more. 2 to 3 years, under 4,000. 1 to 2 years, little, that's almost tied these two here. Uh, Half a year, just 12 months, a little over 1,000. And under 6 months, you just started watching. That's probably 500, maybe. If I did get no, that's by 200, 200, 2 to 300. Okay, we, how do we find ABD? Most of us, it's through the YouTube algorithm, the social media clip, like a short friend or family. That's pretty good. Uh, and by searching a topic or a guest. A guest could be a CEO, a mafia guy, celebrity, sports guy, Scottie Pippen, Michael Franzese, um, Alex Jones, um, or you know, even excuse me, President Trump could be one of them. So about eight now, almost 8,000 of us use YouTube. That's a lot. That's a lot. Panel favorite VT valuetainment content format. Panel discussion, over 10,000 of them. Or 10,000. Yeah, 10,000. One-on-one interviews. That's only 2,000, 2,100 one-on-one interviews. Wow. Business Wednesday, which most of the time admit this, I usually skip the Business Wednesday stuff. So, sorry. Sorry. But that's fine. Okay. So content and topics. What drives tune-in decisions, topic preferences, and competitive podcast landscape? Okay. So let's get to this politics a lot. Topics that bring in politics, which is a lot. Well, 13, between 12,500 to 13,000 people say it politics. Finance and economics, that's about 10,000 even. Business and entrepreneurship. Business and entrepreneurship would be 9,700, if I had to guess. Geopolitics, whatever. Don't, I actually I'm not looking at it, but I'm not looking at it. I'm sorry. Because I don't know what I know what politics is, but geopolitics, I don't. Geopolitics. Yeah, is it geopolitics? This is AI overview on Google. Geopolitics is the analysis of how geographic, spatial, and environmental factors influence power relationships in international relations. It examines how physical variables such as natural resources, climate, topography, and access to the sea affect state behavior, foreign policy, and global security. Okay. Okay, it's interesting. Classical geographics, traditional theories focusing on heartland control, maritime choke points, and territorial expansion from the Lowry Institute. Geoeconomics, the use of economic instruments like trade tariffs. Trump's favorite word, trade tariffs. Some supply chain control, resource embargoes to achieve geopolitical objectives, soft power. Excuse me. The ability to influence global dynamics through cultural, technological, or ideological. That sounds like the Borg. Sounds like the Borg. Your technological, your what's it supposed to be? We are the Borg, lower your shields and surrender your ships. We add your biological, technological effectiveness to our own. Worst. So, but that's soft power, cultural, technological, and ideological appeal rather than military coercion. Ooh. Major global issues, great power competition, strategic maneuvering alliances between major economic and military powers, often centering on regional influence defense, technology, supply chain security, resource and energy transition, global trade. Okay, so you can go to the Lowry Institute. It'll give you geopolitics here. Okay. So that's what geopolitics is. Okay. I may not understand that part. Okay. But geopolitics is what brings people in. Okay. And it's about 82 to 8,300 of that. Culture and society. That is 78 to 79, 79, 7,900. Religion of faith, which I think should be higher, a little more. Religion of faith is was it 6,000? Yeah, 6,000. just under culture and society. So I would say if this is close to 78, 7,900, this will probably be close to 75 to 7,600 on religion and faith. History and philosophy, 5,800, 58, 5,900. Technology, 43 to 4,500. Celebrity interviews, just over 4,000. Sports, not no, no one's interested. No one's interested in sports. You've only had, Scottie Pippen. You probably had some other baseball guys, but not that much. Baseball or basketball guys. He's had Shaq, for an older vault conference. He had Scottie Pippen in there. I don't think he's had LeBron James. He's had Mega World Peace, who's a basketball player. But that's about it. That's about it. Sports. Other podcasts, audience watches. I don't watch much. Me, this is my. I don't watch Joe Rogan. My brother does a lot. I don't watch Joe Rogan. No, Joseph Rogan. But a lot of people do. About a little over 9,000 people watch Joe Rogan. Okay. Whoever that could be, I don't know. Tucker Carlson has kind of gone downhill politically. Diary of a CEO. I don't know what that is. Megyn Kelly. Candace Owens has gone downhill a lot. I'm Timcast. Friedman. Don't know him. Daily Wire, that's gone down the hill lately. Hooverman Lab, all the podcasts, Breakfast Club, that's Charlemagne, The God, and all that other bad stuff. Triggered with Don G. That Don Trump, now watch it. Colin and Samir, don't know him. I'm surprised that Andrew Schultz. What's Andrew Schultz? Podcast name. Andrew Schultz. Andrew Schultz podcast. Andrew Schultz. Andrew Schultz. Oops. Sorry, I'm trying. Schultz, not Schultz. Schultz. What's his podcast name? Podcast name. Podcast. Stop. Podcast. What's his name? What's the name of it? Podcast. Oh, Flagrant. Flagrant. That's not that. I'm surprised. Flagrant with Andrew Schultz is not listed there. Interesting. Or brilliant idiots. Yeah, that's not listed. That's kind of sad. It's kind of sad because Andrew Schultz has been on the PBD podcast a couple of times. Okay. That's all about guest types, audience wants. CEO and founder. Pretty good. That's 250. What would it be? 225? 215, 215. Politicians. 130. Tied with media personalities. Military and intelligence. Not many people want military and intelligence. Scientists and academics. Not many. Economists. I skipped those guys. I'm sorry. Now, guest and panelist requests. Ranked by audience mention counts across open-ended responses. See if I can respond. Yeah, open-ended responses. Okay. Joe Rogan, top 30 most requested guests. Who should be on the PBD podcast? Joe Rogan? I don't think he's been on a PBD podcast yet. Elon Musk? I don't think he has. Maybe he has. I know he was on the Bumblebee podcast. Tucker Carlson, he's been on there. Rob, the tech guy, Rob. Um, Rob is not a guest though. He work he if that's the Rob of the Rob um of PB Rob of PBD podcast. Uh, yeah, what's his name? What's his last name? Ram Go Gargulio. Gargulio? Did I say that, pronounce it correctly? I hope I did. So that I think that's the Rob we're talking about. He's not a guest. He's already there. But he's not a part of the panel either. He's the media tech guy. He's like what Sky was. Sky was a media tech guy before Rob showed up. Sky was in the early days of the PBD podcast from 2, 3 years ago. That's Rob now. I don't consider putting Rob as a requested guest. I don't think that name should not even be on there. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. Rob Gogulio does not need to be labeled a guest or even a panelist. He is a panelist on the Unusual Suspects with Vinnie Oshana. That's different. PBD podcast? No. I don't consider Rob a part of the panel. It's Tom, Adam, Vinnie, PBD. That's it. Rob? No. Rob should not be in that list. But and now that's guest. Should Rob be on the panel? Yes, he should be. Yes, he should be. Okay. I hope you get that. I get that through to you guys. That's my opinion. Okay, Candace Owens, she's been on the podcast for the election 2024. We saw that. And that's when she was good. I think she was still with Daily Wire at that time. Maybe she just got fired from that or she left. Um, Dave Smith was also on the podcast for the election. But Dave Smith is not a Trump guy. I don't think he's a Trump guy. Candace Owens is now not a Trump guy. And Candace has gone downhill even quickly after Charlie Kirk's assassination. So Ben Shapiro, I think he's been on the podcast. But I think he's starting to lose relativism and credibility. Ben Shapiro has. He's still pretty good. Daily Wire is still pretty good, but I think they're starting to lose their credibility from whatever. Scott Jennings on CNN, he's the only conservative Republican, and he's been on the podcast, definitely. I respect Scott Jennings. Dan Bongino, he was in the FBI, he was second to Kash Patel. He's out of it now. He was only in there for maybe a year. And that was Bongino's plan, and now he's back. He's back with the Dan Bongino show. He's been on the podcast. I respect Dan Bongino very well. Alex Jones, he's been on the podcast. My problem with Alex, he talks fast. He's got that kind of voice, that really rough voice. Like I'm gonna say this honestly, this is my opinion of Alex. He probably drinks too much. I don't know if he's on drugs. I don't think he is, but I think he has a history with alcoholism, which makes his voice very rough. And he talks pretty fast. Ben Shapiro talks too fast for me. Even Ben Shapiro talks too fast for me. Megyn Kelly, I still respect her. Vivek Ramaswamy, He and I are the same age. He's running for governor of Ohio, and I believe, and he won the primary in all the counties of Ohio. Vivek Ramaswamy did. Congrats to him. Should he has been a guest. Should he be a guest again? Sure, why not? Should he be on the panel? Maybe if he wasn't running for governor of Ohio, yes, he should be on the panel. And I'll get to the panel. RFK Jr., he is the Secretary of Health and Human Services. He's been on the podcast. I respect RFK Jr. very well. A lot of his family don't, and that's okay. Matt Walsh, he did that documentary called What is a Woman, which I have not seen, but I know about it. Matt Walsh, he's a conservative, common sense guy. I respect him. Jordan Peterson, he's had a health scare recently. I think he's been on the podcast. I think he's analyzed PBD before. He's analyzed Greg Laurie. He analyzed microfrenzies. Jordan Peterson did. Nick Fuentes, he's a troubled character, to say the least. Nick Fuentes. Now Nick Shirley, he was just in Paris, France. He was just in Paris, France. He went into Cuba. He was just in Paris, France. I think he was with Tommy Robinson in the UK. I respect Nick Shirley very well. I might be getting one of some of I might be getting some of his leadering stuff here pretty soon. Uh, uh, Nick Shirley. He's a Mormon, but I have to respect him, you know. Glenn Beck. I respect Glenn Beck very well. He's been on our podcast once or twice. Michael Knowles, the Catholic political analyst there. Michael Knowles, I think he's been on the podcast. Yes, he has. He's been on that podcast for sure. I don't know who Andrew Wilson is. I'm going to look up Andrew Wilson. Who is Andrew Wilson? Who is Andrew Wilson? I don't recognize that name. Andrew Wilson. Who is Andrew Wilson? Chief Executive Officer of Electronic Arts. No, not again. American actor, pastor, Andrew Wilson. Historian. Okay, let's go to Andrew Wilson, PBD podcast. Okay, let's get that. Andrew Wilson appeared on episode 707 of the PBD. Who is Andrew Wilson? Oh, oh, him. Yeah, I don't know who he is. Sorry, I don't know who Andrew Wilson is. I don't. Excuse me. I don't think I watched that episode. Anyway, Benny Johnson. Andrew Tate. Sorry, Andrew Tate, the Tate brothers, Andrew and Tristan Tate. Tristan just did a podcast with Bryce Crawford recently, today or last night. Andrew Tate is Muslim. He was Christian. He turned Muslim. Very masculine. Wants men to be men, and I respect that. I respect that. Okay. Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson is. Does he work for TPUSA? I think he does. Benny Johnson. He's pretty relevant. Stephen A. Smith, a sports dude. I respect Stephen A. Smith very well. So does PBD. So does uh, Vincent Oshana for hot cakes and hot takes. Um, I watch a couple of episodes. Naval Ravikant. Who's Naval? Who is Naval Ravikant? I don't know who he is. Naval Ravikant. Naval. Naval. It's a podcast. Naval Ravikant, he's an entrepreneur, 51 years of age. Excuse me. He's from India. What is he famous for? AngelList. Former CEO, co-founder, former CEO of AngelList. Huh. Angel investor. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Heard of, never heard of Naval Ravikant. I think I skipped that episode as well. Chris Cuomo. He's a interesting character. He kind of Chris Cuomo. I've been on the podcast quite a few times. There's things that he and PBD agree with, things that they disagree with. Chris Cuomo. Sean Hannity. I respect that guy. He guest hosted a PBD podcast recently because PBD was I think he was he was doing a certain meeting, I think at where was that? Mar-a-Lago? Some kind of big business meeting at Mar-a-Lago. So Sean Hannity took over as host. That was a very good episode, by the way. Sean Hannity. Jillian Michaels, I've heard of her. Conservative. Uh Elon, okay, I may mispronounce his last name. Elon Shru Shru yeah. Shrulovic. No, Shrulovic. Shrulovic. I may mispronounce. This is Elon, not Ilhan, not Elon. Elon. Don't get that confused, okay? Jeff Snyder, I don't know who he is. Tim Kennedy, I don't know who he is. Okay. Now that is guest, requested guest. Requested. I've said this. We should have someone from Duck Dynasty, the the Unashamed podcast, the Robertson brothers. You got Jace, you got Alan, Jace, Willie, Uncle Si. Phil is in heaven. He's not there. Phil went to heaven. Miss K, if she can do a podcast, she would. Uh, John Luke Robertson, Willie's son. Reed Robertson, Jace's son. Jeff Robertson should be on PBD podcast. Uncle Si should be on PBD podcast. He's an army guy, the Vietnam War era. So Unashamed podcast with the Robertson brothers, they should be on PBD. John Taffer, the John Taffer podcast, No Excuses podcast. Bar Rescue, he should be on PBD podcast as an entrepreneur. Franklin Graham, Greg Laurie, Dr. Bill James, he should be on the podcast. Um, I can name quite a few people on our list. Um, now, who should be on the panel? I've mentioned this already. Dave Smith, no. I think he should be on the panel. Scott Jennings, yeah. I think he should be on the panel. If he ever leaves CNN, yes, he should be on a panel. Elon, he's already on the panel from time to time. Usually on Business Wednesdays, Elon Shrolovich should be on the podcast. Chris Cuomo, he has to be more conservative than he is to be on the panel, in my opinion. Brandon, Aceto. I think, does Brandon work for PBD? I think he does. Let's see. Brandon Aceto. Oh yeah, he does. Oh, he's been on there. He's been on there. Okay, so Brandon, yeah, he's already on there. I think he does. I think he does. The Usual Suspects with Vince and O'Shannell. Jeff Snyder. Who is Jeff Snyder? Should he be on the panel? Jeff Snyder. Jeff Snyder. PBD. There. Oh, he's been on. Yeah, he's on business Wednesdays. Yeah, he's just Jillian Michaels. Should she? Well, Jillian Michaels has her own podcast. Nick Shirley. I believe that's an invitation for Nick Shirley. Brandon, who's Brandon? Is that the same as Brandon Aceto? Brandon, you got two Brandons here. What's going on? Stephen A. Smith. I think he likes where he is right now. I don't think he should. I don't think he should be on the panel right now. Alex Jones, Infowars, fame. I think, in my opinion, I think Alex Jones should stay where he is. I don't think he needs to be on the panel regularly. Andrew Wilson. No. Andrew Wilson, no. Joe Rogan, if he ever leaves his podcast, which I don't think he ever will, no. Um, Open invitation. Okay, let me open invitation if Joe Rogan ever leaves his own podcasting, Joe Rogan Experience. Candace Owens, no. Candace Owens should not be on a podcast on the panel. Never. Tucker Carlson, no, no. Matt Walsh, yeah. Sean Hannity, if he ever leaves Fox News, because I think he's doing the hangout with Sean Hannity now. He just had Michael Franzese on over the weekend. Um, open invitation. Open invitation on Stephen Smith, literally Sean Hannity. Umberto, Umberto from the background for PBD. Nick Fuentes, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't invite him. My opinion, I wouldn't. Michael Knowles, open invitation. Megan Kelly, yeah, Megan Kelly can be on the panel. Dan Bongino, definitely. Ben Shapiro, if he ever makes amends with Candace Owens and Candace Owens makes amends with PBD, open invitation. Benny Johnson definitely should be on the panel. Elon Musk, no, no, not Elon Musk. Okay, now this is where it gets funny. Andrew Tate, no, he should not be on the panel. Vivek Ramaswamy, he's going to be governor of Ohio. He's going to be busy, so no. Open invitation, but I don't think so right now. Not for another 6 years. I think it's 6 years for governor in Ohio. No, not sure and no idea. What is this? What is this? Not sure, no idea. Extra players on Abbott and Costello's team. Who's on first? I don't. Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know it's on third. Now you got not sure. Now you got no idea. Right field, left field. What is that? What is that? Not sure, no idea. What are you playing? Abbott and Costello? Who's on first again? What the heck? Idiot. But some of us are not sure who should be on the panel. No, none of us. Some of us, about 12 people, don't know, have no idea who should be on the podcast. They can't choose between all these 20, no, 28, no, 20, 1, 2, 3, 27. No one has any idea. No one's not sure. That's not sure is 40, 40 is 12, that's 52. 52 people are not sure. 52 people have no idea. Maybe they like the way it is. Who knows? Now, let's go to audience voice. Open-ended themes. Top themes from thousands of responses with real audience quotes scrolling live below. Okay. What makes them tune in? What makes them tune in? Top themes, education and insights. That's pretty big with 3,000 people. Audiences value learning something new, data, history, or expert perspectives they cannot get elsewhere. Okay. Politics and geopolitics, 2,000 people. That's quite a bit. Business entrepreneurship, that's usually for Wednesdays, like tomorrow. Startup stories, investment insights, and entrepreneurial mindset. Excuse me. Yeah, it's great for coffee. Okay. Authenticity and realness. Definitely. That should be over 1,000. That should be over 1,000. Authenticity and realness. That should be over 1,000 here. Come on. Entertainment and energy. The banter. Okay. The banter can get a little um off off something. The banter between, say, Tom and Adam, the banter between, oh, hopefully it's banter, the banter between Adam and Vince, okay, banter. That's interesting. Where's the banter? The banter, humor, and high energy makes the show genuinely fun to watch. I wouldn't say fun to watch, but interesting. I wouldn't say fun, but that's my opinion. The unfiltered, no teleprompter honesty of the panel is a core draw for this audience. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Okay. Guests and interviews, high profile, hard to access guests like Donald Trump, President Trump, are a major reason viewers keep tuning in. I agree with that. Panelist chemistry, dynamic between hosts and panelists, agreement and conflict alike creates compelling television. That's not television. That's not television. These are podcast people. Okay. Panelist chemistry. When they're not live, when they're not in that studio, the new studio, or even the old studio, the chemistry's fine. You get on that podcast, guys, you come up to a topic like Iran, President Trump, Elon Musk, Doge, um, Israel. Yeah, it gets heated a couple of times, and the chemistry kind of goes down. You see it, I see it. You fellow audience members, I see it. Okay. Faith and values should be up a lot higher. You got 3 Christians and 1 Jew. Or no, 4 Christians if you count Rob. 4 Christians and 1 Jew. Faith and values should be. It's only 210. That's low, folks. And this is America. Okay. That should be a lot higher. That should be at least 500, not 210. Come on. Do we need, we got Business Wednesday. Should we have more Sunday podcast with PBD? Yeah, we should. And you know what? I think PBD is trying to get his pastor, um, what's his name? Dudley Rutherford. I think I think he has invited his pastor. I think so. The pastor that united the PBD with his wife, Jennifer. I think he's been invited to the podcast. I'm not sure. But faith and values has got to be higher than 210. My opinion. Okay. That's my opinion. Okay. So what makes what makes us tune out from the PBD podcast? Panelist issues. Yeah. Adam Sosnick. To name one, Adam Sosnick. Frustration with a specific panelist and Adam Sosnick, panelist style or content is the top reason viewers step away. Okay, yeah, we step away or we just press skip whenever PBD goes to Adam. Hey, Adam, your thoughts? Skip, skip, skip. I'm sorry, but I'm just so when Adam does that, so uh, whatever that thing freaking annoys me. Okay, scheduling and timing. Oh, we have noticed this. Okay, some of us have to keep in mind there's 3 hours. There's a 3 hour time gap between California, where I am, and Florida. 3 hours. 6 a.m. is 9 a.m. Florida time. Okay. I think it's 9 a.m. Yeah. 3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours. There's us. Arizona is an hour ahead of us, California. The Midwest, like um, Texas is 2 hours ahead of us. Michigan is 3 hours ahead of us. I think Florida is about three, maybe 4 hours ahead of us. So 6 a.m. here, California, is 9 or 10 in the morning, Florida time. Scheduling and time, we have to put that in perspective. There's a 3 or 4 hour time difference between California, Oregon, and Washington to Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, and everyone else on the East Coast. So, but we are waiting sometimes 15, 30 minutes for the PBD podcast to start. Oh, Adam's running late because he does Uber from Miami to Fort Lauderdale. Vincent is late. The notes are still got to be compiled. Um, the list of the paper notes and then whatever PBD writes for extra notes. That's got to be in there. Their business meeting, this and the other thing. There's all that, but some of us, a lot of us who are in the chat, the live chat on PBD podcast, they're saying, hello, it's 6 a.m. You're 15 minutes late. You're 30 minutes late. Maybe PBD needs to answer why sometimes you guys are late. If it's 6 and if it starts 6:30, it's 9 or 10:30 their time. Why are they 30 minutes late? Why are they 15 minutes late? Maybe PBD needs to answer that. Maybe PBD needs to say, or Rob, if he does or Rob or Umberto, whoever does the schedules the next podcast, maybe it should be 6:30 our time, or 9:30 their time, 10:30 their time, or 7 o'clock our time, which is 10 or 11, which may be a little late, but you do the podcast, but you release it a little later so all of us can be on time, maybe. But scheduling timing, that's getting us into the mood that says, hey, keep your time, man. Keep your time. Too long, repetitive. Repetitive. Okay, episodes that run too long or retread the same ground cause viewers to drop off. Okay, well, here's the thing. On that one, I disagree because PBD wants long form interviews. He also likes long form podcasts, not short form. He's into long form. If he doesn't have a business meeting, if he doesn't have a soccer game with his sons or his daughters, yeah, PBD likes long form stuff, right? What is about nothing? If you say nothing, your head's in the sand. You got to say something. 500, almost 600 of you, 600 of you say, "Oh, nothing's wrong. Nothing tunes you out. You always watch, no matter what." You got to have an opinion. Like I'm giving it to you. You got to have an opinion. If nothing tunes you out, maybe you're better than me. Maybe you're better than me. Irrelevant content. Let's read that. Topics that feel off-brand and unrelated to the audience interests push viewers away. Now, they had the yesterday. They had this crazy story about mosquitoes. Yeah, who cares? Who cares? Well, unless it's the Zika, the West Nile virus. Okay, you can get a healthcare professional in that. But the mosquitoes thing from yesterday, that toned me up, tuned me up. Political overload. Viewers want balance. When politics dominate every episode, some tune out. Luckily, and that's pretty low. That's good. That's low. Luckily, politics does not dominate the PBD podcast. It does not. Finances does. Finances, for me, overloads, in my opinion. Negative and doom and gloom. Excessive doom and gloom framing leaves viewers feeling drained rather than, oh, that is low. That is low. If you want doom and gloom, have a podcast about the tribulation. Okay. Have a podcast about the end times. That doom and gloom. I mean, come on. That's low and that deserves to be low. So I'm glad that people are saying, oh, only 29 people say have negativity and doom on the podcast. But for those of you who do, if, except who believes that there's excessive doom and gloom, it's nothing but bad news. Hey, folks, news flash. The news is nothing but bad news. They just had, yesterday, they had a story about this illegal immigrant that killed 3 generations of family in, I forget what state it was, California? I think it was California. Yeah, that's negative, but that's in the news. But the mainstream media didn't touch that story. Only PBD did. Only ABC News or NBC, whatever news was featured. We're gonna have stories like that. But if you, in my opinion, if you want negativity, you want doom and gloom, do a podcast on the end times and see what happens. My opinion. Okay, let's move on. What should PBD cover more? Business and finance? That's for people who are CPAs. That's not me. I disagree with that. Politics and world events? Yeah, I would say more of that. And PBD already does that 3 times a day. 3 times a week. He does it 3 times a week. Technology or AI? Yeah. Oh, the numbers here. Sports and culture? No. Religion and philosophy, faith should be higher. Religion and philosophy is only at almost 200. Is that right? Yeah, 200. That should be higher. Religion, faith, and philosophy. That should be higher. You had Cliff Connect Me on there. One of my favorite podcasts was Cliff Connect Me. You should have Greg Laurie on there. You should have Franklin Graham on there. You should have Pastor Michael Youssef on there. Religion, philosophy, religion, faith, that should be higher, in my opinion. Health and fitness, that's RFK Junior stuff. Science and education. Science, education, yeah. Enough of the woke stuff, enough of the DEI crap that we had for 4 years on the Biden. Okay. Personal development. Remember, viewers want actionable and like a mindset, productivity, and self-improvement. That's not for the PBD podcast. That's for the Vault conference. My opinion. You want personal development? Go to the Vault conference. PBD is not about personal development. That's the Vault conference. You want personal development? Read your next 5 moves. Okay. Read Choose Your Enemies Wisely, which I haven't started. I'm still reading first 5 moves. Okay. Or your next 5. Yeah. Next 5 moves. I'm still reading Pat's first book. Okay. If you want personal development, go to a Vault conference. If you want personal development, read Pat's books. or read Ray Dalio, read Jamie Dimon, okay, from Chase Morgan. All right. That's my opinion. That's under cover more. Yeah, cover more. Okay, cover less. Politics and Trump. Well, yes, but my opinion, yes. Cover less of Trump, cover less of politics. But we have a problem with Iran right now. We do have a problem with Iran. Cover less, panelist negativity. I got to read this. Combative or dismissive panelist behavior makes some viewers want to change the channel. Yeah, I already mentioned that. Way in the world up here, panelist issues. That should be up here. Cover less. How can you cover less panelist negativity? It's going to happen every podcast. It's going to happen. Adam Sosnick is now, it took him about, what, 3 years of the podcast to get him on the Trump train, so to speak. 2, 3 years. But is he still combative? Yes. Is he still dismissive? Sometimes. To where Tom Bizdog says, calm down, princess, right? That's still happening. Panelist negativity. You want less panelist negativity? I don't know where you can go. I do not know where you can go in respect to PBD. I don't. It's gonna happen. Celebrity gossip. Yeah, people want less of that. You know, we don't get that much. Really, we don't get that much. What celebrities are you referring to? Hollywood? They don't. PBD doesn't cover Hollywood stuff that much. Gossip? Nothing. Nothing but gossip. Okay. If there's nothing that PBD should cover less and everything, I disagree with that. Repetitive topics. Repetitive topics. I think PBD tries not to be repetitive. Every day should be something new. Every day should be always be an improvement of something else. Should we get the latest update, for example, of whether the Iranian president actually did resign? Should we get an update whether the Iranian president is killed, which was mentioned yesterday in yesterday's episode? Should we get updates on whether the current Ayatollah, the son of Khamenei, the guy who was just killed about 3 months ago, the son who hasn't been seen, the son who possibly has a very serious injury. Should we get updates on his demise? Yeah, probably should. But would that be repetitive? That's up in the air. Divisive or negative? Read that. Content that feels overly divisive and or angry in tone, I cited as a turnoff. Um, Content that feels overly divisive and angry. Well, when the story of the killing of the grandmother, the mother, and the infant child yesterday, covering that story, divides of a negative, angry, yeah, yeah. Let me say, I agree with Vincent O'Shana. Yeah, he's angry that crap like that happens because California is a sanctuary state and there's sanctuary cities. That's why Vince is called the freaking angry patriot, for crying out loud. Come on. Come on. Cover less, divisive and negative. You're going to get negativity stuff. You're going to get divisive stuff. There's stuff that Trump says that we don't agree with. PBD doesn't agree with. There's stuff that Elon Musk or someone else says that we disagree with. Yeah, it's going to happen. Should we cover it less? That's up to PBD. That's up to the guys who do the meetings prior to the podcast in the morning. PBD does better. Let's move on. Let's go to the next story. Let's go to the next story. Let's go to the story. PBD does better than others in authenticity and honesty. I agree with that. Totally agree with 2,380 votes. Multiple perspectives. Yeah, well, he's got three other panelists and the guests he has. Yeah, I agree with that. Guest access and quality. Yeah. Although certain people, Michael Franzese is sometimes Michael Franzese, for example, where's Michael Franzese been? He's been on PBD podcasts in the past. He's been on um, I'm not sure if he's been on Joe Rogan Experience. I don't think so. I don't think so. But he was just on Sean Hannity, and then he was Michael Franzese. He was just in Vegas touring the Mob Museum in Vegas, which is kind of cool. Not kind of, it's cool. Okay. And Michael Franzese does podcasts. He does certain interviews if he's overseas or if he's doing an event. He was on the MobCon, I think it's called MobCon, um, a convention for mobsters or gangsters, and that's how he met with Armand Sunday, which was very cool. So multiple perspectives, yeah, he has that. Guest access and quality, yeah, PBD has that. He interviewed Trump. Guest access, he interviewed Bibi Netanyahu. Guest access, he interviewed the son of the Shah, Reza Pahlavi II, the son of Mohammed Reza Shah Pahlavi. Okay, yeah, guest access. PBD has that definitely. Research and preparation. Yeah, we got a biz doc named Tom Ellsworth who knows finance, he knows politics. Yeah, research and all of them research stuff. All of them research and stuff, especially Tom, especially PBD. They research, they prepped. Yeah, community and values. The sense of shared values and genuine community sets PBD apart from other podcasts. Um, would I agree with that? That's up in the air, my opinion. Format and production, the long form, which PBD likes. Multi-host format gives depth to with that short form media seemingly cannot match. I agree with that. I think I agree with that. Entertainment value, okay. PBD manages to be informative and genuinely entertaining at the same time. Yeah, when he's talking about Rob Dilla Rob, yeah, that's PBD. Yeah, he's entertaining. He's funny. He's cool, calm, and collected as a host, and that's what I like about PBD. Okay, let's move on. Feedback to Patrick. Top things. Keep it up, positive. I agree with that. Almost 8,000 of us say, yeah. A long share of the audience simply want Patrick to keep doing what he's doing. Totally agree with that. Faith in humility. Audiences appreciate that when Pat leads with humility and faith, he's starting he's starting certain podcasts with prayer, whether it's with Tom or Adam or I think Adam has done it, or Vince. I respect that. I don't think he did that before. But since they got the new studio, they've been doing it a little more often, starting the podcast with prayer. I totally, I totally respect that. Okay. Bring back or add panelists. Fans have strong opinions on who should join or return to the panel. Yeah, I already went through that. And I I would say, and I've written this on X, Twitter before, that there are times when Vincent and Adam are at it, headbutting a lot, or Tom and Adam are at it, headbutting a lot. And goes back a couple of years to where a lot of people say, hey, and even in the chat today, but not today, but even in the chat or the live chat or the podcast, a lot of people saying, get rid of Adam Sosnick. Sosnick already has his own podcast, Sauce Talks Money, or Sauce Talk about money. Okay. I think he's still doing that one, which I'm not subscribed to. I'm not going to do that. Bring back or add panelists. Can you add panelists? Yeah, you got Elon, Shrulevic. Um, you got a couple of other guys I've already mentioned. Yeah. Should we add more panelists? Maybe. I don't know. Grow and scale. Fans want to show to grow. More formats, more platforms, bigger reach. I think Pat is already doing that. But how can you grow when you went to a little small studio to and you change the location of the whole you change the location of your whole company from a little piece of land to a place that has the airport where and then you have where PBD lives, you have the with a big soccer player that lives nearby, you know, on the water, on a Fort Lauderdale, right? Um, just how can you grow beyond that? You already got the vault columns. How can you grow on that? I don't know. How can you scale from that? I don't know. I don't think there. I don't think you can go bigger than what he. I don't think, my opinion. I don't think Pat can grow bigger than what he is right now. I don't think so. He already moved his company to different locations to where he has his own helipad. He has a place to hold parties. He has a place to hold movie nights. He has a place to whatever. Okay, outside of his own residence. Um, I don't know how else he can grow and scale. Bigger reach. How can you get bigger than Donald Trump? You've already reached the president. How can you get bigger than that? I don't know. I don't know. Stay unbiased or balanced. Viewers want Pat to hold the line on balanced takes and resist being pulled too far in any direction. I I think Pat is doing that. Very few people say that. That's stay unbiased, stay balanced. I think Pat is already balanced. How can you, if he's the cool, calm, and collected host that he has been for the last 5 years since I think it's over 5 years now, 10 years of the podcast, there's nothing he needs to improve on. Maybe he needs to curb his language a little bit, in my opinion. More research, more depth. Viewers encourage Pat to go even deeper on topics, more data, more nuance, more follow-up. He's already doing that with Iran. He's already doing that with Trump. More research on what? More research on what? That's because sometimes he'll have actual doctors and health guys that say, hey, for example, stop drinking the Celsius drinks. Stop taking this, stop eating this, stop eating that. He's had those podcasts already. What more research is there? Is there any more research other than the people he's already talked to? I don't know. And address critics and controversy. Yeah, not gonna happen. I think it's good. He allows feedback. He allows negative comments. It doesn't phase him. It doesn't change his attitude. It doesn't. God bless Pat for saying that. I've heard him say that on the podcast. Give me all the negative stuff. Give me all your contrary opinions. He'll take it. He'll listen. He'll he'll respond his way. And if you don't come into agreement with Pastor Bet David, cool, fine, fine. Should Pat address all the critics and controversy? What should Pat address when the audience says we should that he should fire, get rid of Adam Sosnick? I don't think he will. When the audience says that you should be on more on time, maybe he may address that. He may change his time. I don't think he can. If he's already doing 100 hours a week as a business owner, I don't think he can do that. Will he answer to that? Maybe he will, maybe he won't. We as the audience have to be um, respectful and understanding, considerate of Pat, how much he works, how much he spends time with his family, his wife, his kids, his dad. I think his mom passed away. But yeah, and he's got soccer games, he's got football games, he's got school stuff with his kids. Tico is I think he's Tico's junior high or maybe going into high school soon. Tico, the oldest. And then there's Dylan, and then there's Santa, and then there's Brooklyn, the youngest one. Yeah, of course, Jennifer has to deal with that too, and maybe Gabriel, the Grandpa Gabriel, Bet David, has to deal with that too. And Gabe is what, 83 years old? Yeah, he has to balance that. He had PHP. I think he sold that. Pat has Valuetainment, and he's got the Pet PBD podcast. He's got insurance people, thousands of insurance people. He's got his board of directors, and Tom Ellsworth is on that board, I think, still. So he's if he's doing 100 hours a week, yeah, he's flipping busy, y'all. Does he does he have time to address all the critics and controversy? No, he does not. No, he does not at all. He does not have that time unless he makes the time. I don't think he has that time. My opinion. And I never met the guy. I've met the guy. So let's move on to audience demographics. Political parties, 64%. That's a D minus. So 64% are Republican. The gray is independent. That's me, libertarian, and other. Other could be Democrats too. That's interesting. 64. So what is that? 30, 64, 60, 40. That's 20. So what's it? No. Yeah, no. 60, 60 to 60 out of 100 is 40. So 40, 36, right? Yeah, 36%. 36%. 36. So 36%, that's how much people don't watch. They watch the podcast, but they're not aligned politically with Patrick Bet David. 36%, you got us who are hopefully, if you're independent, hopefully you're conservative. If you're libertarian, hopefully you're conservative. But 36%, maybe that 36% needs to get more on the Trump train. On the Trump train, maybe. I don't know. 38, that's low. That's low for me. Low. 38% of us are business owners. 38% of us audience are business owners. That's not me. I'm the seven, was that 62%? Yeah, 62% of us are just regular folk. 62% of us are regular folk. Whereas 36% of us are non-Republican. Interesting. Last page. Oh, here we go. How long have you been watching PBD? 3 plus years. I think I've been watching for 3 years, at least two. Um, six, that almost 50. I would say that's 5,300 of us have been watching for over 3 years. That's pretty good. YouTube, Spotify, and Rumble. Already touched that one. Last page, Minect. I don't do Minect. I may use, I don't know. Because if you use Minect, you have to pay these four guys to answer your questions. You know, a small fee, maybe $1. Maybe Pat asks for $100 to Minect them. Maybe Tom Ellsworth asks for $100. Vincent Osana, he may only do a dollar, $5 to Minect the guy. Adam Sodson, I don't know. I think Rob is on it. I think Rob is on it. Gugulio, I think he's on it. And a lot of people who get on the podcast have Manette. Nick Shirley has it. The Tates, I think, have it. The Tate brothers have it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a long video. Hope you enjoyed it. This is my perspective of the PBD podcast survey results from last month. Okay. So if you like this video, I'm gonna share this to on PBD to the PBD podcast. If you like this survey analysis on just a regular guy from California, cool, watch it, cool, awesome. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you if you agree with me, cool. If you disagree with me, that's cool too. I'll take it. I hope you enjoy your day and enjoy your week. Bye bye.